to Grand Central. I'm your host, Roger Barnett. On our program tonight, we'll hear from a Gander Town councillor about a proposed new water treatment system for the airport town. As well, Pastor Jeff Slade from Evangel Pentecostal Church in Grand Falls, Windsor will join us to talk about a trip that he and 14 others from Grand Falls, Windsor took recently to the Philippines to work on an orphanage. We'll also hear some of the highlights from the Gander Kiwanis Music Festival held just recently, and also we'll have a look at one of the world's largest aircraft. To begin the program tonight, I'm joined by Gerald Thompson, past president of the Chamber of Commerce. Gerald, welcome to the show.
Roger.
And Barry Manuel is joining us as well to talk about some business matters.
Well, speaking of some business matters, Roger, I guess we're going to turn the tables on you off the top this evening. And I hope that you don't get too surprised, but as we know, last week, Thursday evening at the annual general meeting in the Chamber of Commerce, you were the recipient of an award from the Chamber for your outstanding contribution to the exploits region. And now that we've got the tables turned on you, I guess it's a strange position for you not to be the interviewer, but the interviewee. But I want to ask you what your reaction was when you learned you were going to receive that award.
Well, I learned when Gerald mentioned the name, and in fact, to be honest with you, I was staring sideways. Gerald was facing the crowd, and I was sitting very close to the head table and staring sideways. And Darlene Myers, who is our general sales manager, was with me, and she leaned over, and Gerald mentioned the name, and I just was staring straight ahead, and she leaned over and she said, "Roger, it's you." I was kind of startled, to be honest with you, very surprised, very shocked, very humbled. I don't know what else to say, to be truthful with you. And when you stand up and go and accept a presentation from the president of the Chamber of Commerce, and you look out in the audience and everybody starts standing up, I just don't know what to say, and I still don't know today what to say.
Well, obviously we can tell a little bit how you felt at that moment. And Gerald, can you tell us exactly why the Chamber decided to present Roger in this way?
Well, Barry, this is our 50th anniversary, and when we were getting things ready for our AGM, it's the President's prerogative to choose an individual within the Chamber to present the President's Award to, and I did that, and you know, in my discussions with the executive and the board, I said, you know, there isn't one other person in this community who's been a tremendous assistance to this chamber and this community. And I said, that's Roger Barnett. You know, and the reaction from my executive was immediate. Yes, you know, and even some people mentioned the fact that where Roger was in Badger, and he was dying with the flu, and he stayed there, and he gave us not only Central Newfoundland report, but all of Newfoundland. You know, and it really, you know, that was the reaction. And Roger, I can say to you quite categorically that you know, we do appreciate what you've done for this community, and we do appreciate what you've done for the Chamber. And all too often, as people like you will fall through the cracks, but I'm glad as president of the Chamber to have allowed or have the opportunity to present you with that award and to say on behalf of this community, thank you very much.
And Roger, as well, as we know, your media career now has spanned some 30 years, I do believe. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
Close to it, yeah.
And can you tell us a little bit about your career and, you know, summarize it to how you got to this point?
Well, boy, I wasn't expecting this here today either, to be honest with you, but well, I started back in 1974. I worked in Marystown for 10 years in radio. Then I was transferred to Grand Falls, CKCM, back in 1974. I think it was March or April of 1974. In fact, I was reading a book about Lester Pearson on the way up on the bus to Grand Falls. And in fact, the night that I got here was a Friday night, and there was a hockey game on at the old Grand Falls Stadium as it was then. I think it was the firefighters from, I guess, Grand Falls, or maybe it was Windsor, I can't remember. Anyways, there was a hockey game, and the place was blocked solid. That was back in 1974. Since then, Barry, to be honest with you, when it comes to the media part of it, I mean, I've done it all, I guess. In radio, I've done radio shows. I'm in news, sports now. I've done commercials, commercial writing. I've done a lot of the work that we call, for example, traffic continuity, that kind of thing at work. So basically, I've done it all. But and I love it all, to be honest with you. You know, and for example, this past winter, you and I had the opportunity to do some hockey here in Grand Falls, Windsor, with the Cataracts, and I just love doing the hockey, and in fact, I'd love to be doing it now.
Yes.
In any case.
Well, I know that you should be commended. I know that I've witnessed your tireless efforts on a number of occasions, and certainly you're more than deserving of this award. And I'm glad, as Gerald mentioned, the Chamber, I guess, needs to be commended as well for presenting this award, because all too often you see people who do make such a tremendous commitment and it does go unnoticed. So once again, congratulations, Roger, on a well-deserved award, and keep up the good work for sure.
Yeah, thanks very much, and I thought we were going to have a discussion about something else.
Well, I guess before we go, we would want to mention to Gerald the Chamber of Commerce, and in particular currently, Gerald, what's on the agenda? Anything you'd like to mention?
Well, the big thing, of course, for the Chamber is our trade show, which is coming up at the Joe Byrne Memorial Stadium, May the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. As you know, we have about 77 booths in that trade fair. We've got about 75. There's about 2 vacancies left, so if any business out there in the region that is interested in getting in this trade show, call the office at 489-7512, talk to Ron or Shirley, and they will certainly help you. You know, last year we had 4,000 plus people go through that show, and it's the highlight of our Chamber's functions during the year, and you know, it's a great financial boost for us as a Chamber.
Sure, it's been tremendously successful, I know, in the past. I'm sure that won't change again this year. By the way, Roger, Reg wanted me to mention that those some 30 around years ago, that when you were on the South Coast, at that time, Belorem was known as Bellioram by yourself, and you must have got corrected on that, I'm sure, a few times, but an interesting note there. And thanks again, Gerald, for coming by and doing this with us. I'm sure we'll talk to you again, and Roger, once again, congratulations.
Thank you, Roger.
Right now, we're going to take a little break and come back with Roger, and he'll continue with tonight's program.
Bruce Harvey is no stranger to anyone in Gander. Everyone knows him as the guy who for nearly 30 years has managed the meat department at the Gander's Consumers Co-op. For the past 5 years, Bruce has also been a volunteer camera operator with the Rogers television crew in Gander. From studio to events around town, Bruce's talents as a volunteer cameraman are most valued.
If you'd like to volunteer at Grand Central, give us a call at 651-2652 in Gander or 489-3346 at Grand Falls, Windsor. We'd love to see you at Rogers Television.
And yes, if you'd love to volunteer with us here